Section 4.3 talks about the multiplication and division of fractions. Okay, so in section 4.2 we introduced fractions. So section 4.3 we talk about the multiplication, talk about multiplying and dividing fractions. Okay, so let's talk first about multiplying. Multiplying fractions. Basically, if you have two, so with multiplying fractions, there is no need to find the least common multiple. Okay, so you don't have to do anything like when you're adding and subtracting fractions. So basically, if you have two fractions, like some number a over some number b times some number c over some number d, all you do is just multiply across. It's the same as a times c over b times d. Okay? And the other thing I want to introduce is just that oftentimes the word of means multiplication. Okay? So, for example, if I ask what is 1/6 of 18? All we're doing is we're taking 1/6 times 18, which if we wanted to write a whole number as a fraction, we just have 1/6 times 18 over 1, which is 1 times 18, right, over 6 times 1, which gives us 18 over 6. And then we just simply reduce. 6 goes into 18 3 times. Okay. So if we want to multiply and simplify fractions, if we say, for example, multiply and simplify 4 over 30 times 5 over, oops, not 15, 5 over, oops, 5 over 14, I want to make it. Okay, so I could go ahead and just multiply across. Right now I'll have a very large number in the denominator, but oftentimes what's helpful is if I can actually figure out what some common factors are in the numerator and denominator. So first off, let me go ahead and write this fraction as the way I would if I were just to multiply across. So it would be 4 times 5 over 30 times 14. Okay, but now if we start looking for common factors in the numerator and denominator, you'll see that there's certain things that we could actually cancel out and make our multiplication process a little bit easier. So let me rewrite 4 as 2 times 2, right? And then I have 5 out here. And let me break down 30 into 6 times 5, right? And 14 into 2 times 7. Actually, let me go even a step further. Let me take 6 and I'll break that down into 2 times 3. Okay, so if you take a look, what do we have here? So this here was my 4, right? And I still have my 5. This here is my 30, and this was my 14, right? Okay, so now since it's all multiplication in the numerator and all multiplication through in the denominator, if I see a factor that occurs in both the numerator and the denominator, it's 1 for 1, right? So if I have 1, I have a 2 here, and I'll have a 2 down there. I have another 2 here and a 2 here, right? So I can cancel those out. And then I have a 5 and a 5, right? So what do I have left in the numerator? Now remember, even though I don't have anything up here, it's still all multiplied by 1, right? So my factor, I still have a 1 here. Don't lose that 1. And then I'm left with a 3 times a 7, which gives me 21. So that's the simplified, after I multiply everything out, that's the simplified fraction. Okay, it's the same thing if I do, if I have two negative fractions, right? Multiply and simplify. If I have negative 10/18 times negative 21/35. Okay, and again, remember, a negative times a negative means my answer is going to be positive, right? So my answer, I've got to remember, is positive, and then everything else I just do the same way. I have 10 times 10 over 18. I'm going to rewrite my 10 as 2 times 5. Actually, let me do this first. Let me write it so that it's going to be 10 times 21 over 18 times 35. Right, so now, and I know it's going to be positive, right? So I'm going to rewrite this as my 10 is going to be 2 times 5. My 21 is going to be 3 times 7. My 18 is 2 times 9, right? But I can also write that as 2 times 9, which is 3 times 3. And then 35 is 5 times 7, right? So again, I can start canceling, see what I can factor out first. And I have the 2's, right? And then I have the 5's. And then I have my 3. 1 3 cancels, it's another 3 in the bottom. And then the last one I have, I could still cancel out my 7's. Again, I don't see anything in that numerator, so you assume that it's going to be a 1, right? Because everything, that doesn't change the value, so I have just 1 over 3. And it's positive, okay?